Man, I hate losing to those freaking cheeseheads. I hate losing to Green Bay, but to be honest, out of all the games, we play the Packers and we take another L to these clowns. This game, honestly, for me, I'm not mad. I'm not mad because that second half legitimately showed me we can hang with these busters, and if we make just tiny tweaks and play a tiny bit different, and we make some plays, mostly on the defensive side of the ball, where they make plays, just one play. We may come out, we may find a way to win this game, but look, I can't really be mad. The game went down to the wire. Yeah, Caleb threw an underthrown ball, bad interception. Yes, was Cole Kmet a little bit open earlier? I went back and actually watched the play again before I came on here. I know some people are gonna say, why didn't he run for the first down? They had him contained to where he couldn't. So even if he tried, he may have been just short. Um, but hey, credit goes to the Packers. They called the timeout and they knew, hey, they may do the exact same play they did against Philadelphia. And that's what happened. Now, personally, I would have maybe rolled to the right, did a different variation of the right, going to the right instead of the left. But look, at the end of the day, the Packer fans are gonna go on here, laugh their asses off, say, haha, the Bears still suck. We beat your asses again. But yeah, but at the end of the day, it wasn't a fucking blowout. More importantly, if anything, they were the ones that blew a 14 or 21 to like 11 lead because we found a way to come back. And realistically, when you look at this game, it was a tale of two halves. And on top of it, it was just realistically the defense just not making plays. I think the offense, they didn't make any play whatsoever in that first half. And then obviously they didn't make the clutch play on that last play. But outside of that, the second half, the offense was damn near perfect. But the defense, on the other hand of the ball, they were a fucking problem today. See, in the second half, the only stops they got was the stop coming out of halftime, and then the stop and then the stop that ended up getting us to go down the field to tie the ball game, and then we needed another stop from the defense to basically either hold the Packers to a field goal, or just straight up get them to punt the ball away so then they can be able to so we can be able to get the ball back on offense and maybe get a chance to go win the game, whether it's getting the touchdown or kicking the field goal. And I do believe if we had got the touchdown that last drive, I think we more than likely would have went for two because there was no chance we were going to take with the defense that we're going to allow Jordan Love to have a chance to go down the field and upset us like that. I would 100% believe we were going to probably go for two and go for the win because at that point you couldn't trust the defense to actually get a stop. But that's the problem. The offense was a complete shit show in the first half. And let's get to the offense. The offense, the run game was okay in the first half, but there was no semblance of any type of thing with the pass game in the first half. I don't know what to do. The offensive line was absolutely getting blown up in that first half, and the pressure was getting to it. Caleb Williams was trying to do whatever he could, but it's clear the pressure got to him, and he was making inaccurate throws and shit like that. And it just felt like the play calls, they weren't there. It felt like Ben Johnson's play calling was like a play calling where he wasn't trusting Caleb to do his thing. And they just looked ill prepared to play the game on offense. And I was absolutely shocked. I'm like, come on now. We can't do this, right? And then you flip it over to the second half, and then the Bears just woke up. It's like they must have got something talked to. The offensive line must have got talked to by Dan Rochar, saying these guys are not better than us. You guys can block your asses against these dudes. And lo and behold, from the first drive we had offensively, the Bears offensive line actually did their damn thing. Yeah, there was pressure, but Caleb did his thing in escaping that said pressure. So Micah Parsons can't do his little one to the sky like he Roman Reigns or something. And again, they did, credit to the Bears defense line. The running backs, they brought the boom. Kyle Monangai was laying Packer defenders out like crazy. And then most importantly, Caleb Williams came alive. Ben Johnson opened up the playbook. They opened up the play calling. And lo and behold, guess what? Caleb Williams basically put that Superman cape on and damn near willed the team back to win this game. Yeah, he made a mistake on the most crucial play of the game. Yes, I get that, but you gotta respect and commend him. And I think in some cases, the Packer fans that are not trolls, right? I bet you the Packer fans are like, hey, I gotta give credit where credit's due. They almost got us there. We glad we got the win, but they almost got us there. And again, it really goes to show you like this Bears team is a different Bears team. Yeah, we took the loss to the Packers again. So that aspect is not different, right? But we forced the Packers and we took the Packers in a game down to the wire when it was the last potential drive or the last moment of the game, the last play of the game realistically. And, look, credit to the Packers. They showed up in the first half. And on top of it, they took advantage of our mismatches on defense. You can't really be mad. I can't be mad at that. Like, yeah, if we have maybe a better first half, we maybe win the game. Maybe it's a different story. Maybe we score a touchdown. Maybe we get more points in the first half. But the fact that this offense came alive and Caleb Williams came alive, that first drive coming out of halftime, man, was amazing. The crazy throw he made to Cole Kmet, and then I don't even know how the hell, like, that should have been intercepted, but Caleb Williams must have put a lot of speed on that fastball right there, and lucky enough, got it through, and Zacchaeus made a great catch there. Um, look, we could have definitely scored a lot more points today, but I really can't be mad. Like, look, yes, the completion percentage is not where it needs to be, but for me to see that, and I'm just like, okay, no. See, this is why I want to look on Twitter and go on Twitter and Bear fans like, oh, brother, Caleb Williams is doing these issues again. And it seems like people are talking about with the way Caleb Williams talk about like like they're already out on him. Like, dog, this dude is it. Yes, the issues he has needs to be cleaned up, needs to be better. But you can see this game alone, you can see he has the tools to flip this rivalry, to flip the switch, and help the Bears become winners. Because guess what? He damn near willed this team back. Like he put the team on his back. He put the offense on his back. And guess what? From then on there, he made the throws. He made the plays that needed to be made. It's up to the last play of the game, right? And guess what? You can't be mad about that. He was finding ways and he was doing things like crazy. And this goes to show me that this guy is the dude. He is the guy. Yes, we took the L today, but it further shows me no, we can hang with these suckers, especially offensively. Because you could tell in that second half, the Packers defense was getting gassed. When we were starting to run the ball down their throats, Kyle Monunga and DeAndre Swift were running the ball down their throats. And maybe you can make the argument on that fourth down call, we should have just ran the ball again. But honestly, hey, you put the ball in your best players on offense's hand, and you say, hey, man, go see if you can go get us a first down. Or go get the touchdown, regardless. Now, yes, it was a little bit of predictable of a play call from Ben Johnson to run the exact same play you did to win the game. But, sometimes you got to do different variations of that. Sometimes you just got to be like, what, let's do something different. Let's do something that they don't expect. Because who's to say that, maybe you do a different play or different variation. Maybe you roll to the right instead of the left, which flips the defense. You're like, oh shit, he's going that, and then everything flips over and it's the same exact play, just the other side. So, regardless, Caleb Williams showed up today in the second half. He willed the team, put the team on his back. He did what he needed to do to try to win this game. And albeit we lost this game, we're still in the playoffs as of now. We got to beat Cleveland next week so we don't lose that spot. And then on top of it, we got to go back out there. And if you want to have a chance to win the division, you better hope that Broncos beat Green Bay for us. And you got to go out there and you got to beat Green Bay at home. Like, I figure we may lose this game to Green Bay Packers in Lambeau. And I was honestly fine with that. But, you got to go out there in Chicago and you got to say, no, you got to get your lick back and you got to beat them at home. But looking at the statistics for the box score, Caleb Williams, 19 of 35, 186 yards passing, 2 TDs, 1 interception, only took 1 sack. He came alive in that second half and he willed the team and put the team on his back. I can't be mad at what he was doing. Like, this is what I'm talking about. In the first half, it felt like Ben Johnson was restricting the play calling and not opening it up. And in the second half, it was completely different. More play action, more getting him out of the pocket, on the run, doing what he does best. And when he had to beat the team from the pocket, he did that. So this is my like this is my whole case and my whole thing. Trust him, open up the playbook, let Caleb do what Caleb is. Yes, still have him in structure of the offense, but you gotta let him do it. And you have to show trust in the play calling that he's gonna read the defense, he's gonna see what the defense is giving him, and he's gonna make a good play. Because I don't know what the hell in the set in the first half Ben Johnson was doing. It felt like to me he was play calling because he didn't trust his quarterback. But it is what it is. And you got to respect the fact that Caleb showed a lot of fight, showed a lot of heart, a lot of hustle. The offensive line, job well done. You turned, what was looking pathetic into a great second half. The Packers barely did much of anything, and the receivers actually came up and came to play. And the cool thing too, at the start of that second half, we made some nice, easy throws to make it easy on Caleb Williams and get him in a rhythm. Now we can do that type of plan, starting games off like that. We may be able to have a complete game because from that point on, the Packers defense could not stop us. They had absolutely no answer till that fourth down play. And again, credit to the Packers. They made the play when they needed to make the play. And also you can make the case that third down, the run on second down, the run on third down, it blew everything up because you expect Kyle guy to get that 1 yard and everything. And then it's like, okay, we can work with few downs. And I was seeing what the Bears plan was doing: kill some clock, kill as much clock as you can. So then, guess what? You do get a touchdown, go for two. The Packers barely have a chance to do that. And guess what? Even if we had lost in the 2 point conversion, I still would have been not mad because guess what? Yes, they would have won, and we missed the 2 point conversion to go for the win. But you went down to the wire, and you can't be mad at that situation. And honestly, some Bear fans I'm seeing on Twitter, yes, it's frustrating that we lost to these guys again. But the way it looks like, it's like, look, man, if we just made a few more plays, we made the game's maybe different, a different story. And again, you're gonna have ESPN Milwaukee or Wisconsin, all these Packer talking heads on Twitter talk about, aha, we beat you again. But see, you guys escaped against us again. We would have went down the field and maybe scored the touchdown, and maybe would have went down the field and maybe got the 2 point conversion to win the game, and then would have been a different story. But again, I'll tip my cap where it's due and give respect where it's due. They beat us, plain and simple. So they beat us again. But I'm not mad for the Bears of any team to see the Bears to go into Lambeau and actually take it, go down to the wire in Lambeau when that's kind of been a house of horrors for us, especially the past few years where by then, when it's 14-3, I'm thinking like, shit, this is about to be a blowout game again as we're about to get embarrassed on the on the national stage again, and boom. But no, we came back, we fought, we did, we almost pulled it off. Yeah, the Packers may have the first seed and they may have first division of the NFC, but again, the only thing is, you got to hope that they lose more and we got to keep winning. But look, eventually I knew we were going to lose a game. It sucks that it had to be against this team, but I'd rather lose, this week than say go around next week and lose to Cleveland, you know? So there's that. The run game had over 138 yards rushing for 32 carries. It wasn't really going good in the first half, but then they picked it up in the second half. DeAndre Swift, 13 carries for 63 yards. Kyle guy, 14 carries for 57 yards. Caleb had 4 carries on the rushes he had for 15 yards and stuff. Something like that. Receiving wise, Luther Burden led the team in 4 receptions, 67 yards rushing or receiving. Colson Loveland had another touchdown, 4 receptions for 29 yards. Cole Kmet, 2 receptions, 42 yards. Duvernay with a pretty big catch, 1 reception for 24. DeAndre Swift, 3 receptions for 19. Zacchaeus had a great catch for a touchdown. Smythe had a touchdown and everything. DJ Moore didn't do much of anything. With Rome Odunze out, and maybe you can make the case that with Rome being out, it really did affect how our offense was maybe going to probably be playing going into this game, especially in the first half. So maybe it's a different story if Rome's in the game. I don't know. But I don't know. I felt like they didn't do enough to get DJ Moore involved. Maybe they could have did more to get him involved, but you could clearly see the frustration on his face after the game's over and things like that. But I do think we need to get him the ball more. Like, again, I don't know why sometimes some plays are not directed to him. But it really does feel like, albeit for all the good DJ Moore does for us, he could be somebody that might be potentially not on the team next year. Maybe he might be elsewhere. But honestly, I would be okay with keeping him for one more year and then maybe dealing him after next season, and stuff like that. So yeah, like look, I can't really be mad at the performance, that it was today. You took this team to the wire offensively. Your offense turns around completely. And if we just had a better first half offensively, maybe we win this game. Defensively is kind of where I had the most problems in this game, and it just is just stuff of it's just frustrating. Just frustrating stuff. We were getting stops, and then you just let the Packers go down the field and score touchdowns. And it's just these situational moments from the defense that were just flabbergasting. It doesn't help that Kyler Gordon, he is hurt yet again. Dude, I'm really starting to get sick and tired of Kyler Gordon, bro. This guy, every chance I turn around, he is hurt. And it was crazy too because I'm watching the game once the game started and they talk about, oh, Kyler Gordon, Tom Brady mentions Kyler Gordon's out. And I'm like, what? And I checked Twitter and Bears reporters told me like, yeah, he was been ruled out because I guess in warm-ups, he got hurt. He hurt himself and he must have pulled his hamstring again. Shut this clown down for the rest of the fucking season. This is the third injury he's had, and this is the third hamstring injuries he's gotten. Shut him down for the rest of the season and tell him, hopefully you're healthy by next year. It's really starting to look like the Kyler Gordon deal or contract extension was a bad contract, and he's starting to look like Bryce Callahan 2.0. He just can't stay healthy, and he's our best. You can make the argument he's our best in slot corner, and it's like, dude, come on now. Like, you got to stay healthy. I don't know what that means. You need to put heat on that hamstring or you need to wrap that hamstring up. Something, man. I don't know, you need to stretch for longer periods of time. He got to do something. Change his diet up. I don't know. But do something that is different to where you're not putting yourself in a compromising situation where you're hurting the team and you're out because it hurt the team. It hurt the team clearly. Because maybe if he was in the game, maybe Christian Watson doesn't get that slant pattern for a touchdown. Like, Kyler Gordon is really starting to frustrate me with these injuries. And it's really starting to show like that's a bad contract by Poles. You paid this guy way too early instead of saying, hey, let's wait till you get up to your contract. You're like with Brisker and let's see, if you're worth the money. And honestly, you can make the argument he has not been worth the extension because he can't stay healthy on the field. The saying it always goes, the best availability is availability. And Kyler Gordon in his tenure as Bears, you know, on this team, he's failed to stay healthy. Outside of his rookie year, he cannot stay healthy consistently. He's always out. And he's hurt again with his hamstring. At this point, shut him down, and that's it. Tell him he's done for the rest of the season because, look, if you continuously, repeatedly are having the same hamstring issues, there's no point in you coming back. This seems like this might just be a season-long injury where you just need to rest, sit out, and boom, done. So, maybe so here's the thing. Here's the thing. I would just put him on IR, season-ending IR, and sit him for the rest of the season because he can't stay healthy. He can't. His hamstring issue has been a thing, and if the Bears think they can bring him back and everything, well, guess what? I'm not going to believe he's going to stay in there because guess what? He only played one game, and then boom, he's right out the next game. Like, were you doing something super crazy to re-aggravate your hamstring? So, personally, if you ask me, I shut him down for the rest of the season and just kick rocks with it, and you deal with it. Shit, maybe you tell him, hey man, because you're getting hurt, bro, we're gonna cut some of that salary in that contract. You're gonna take a little bit of a pay cut because it's unacceptable. He can't stay healthy, and the fact that apparently Agassi's gonna be he's a massive part in Dennis Allen's defense, then guess what? That's the like dog. You got to stay healthy. You got to stay healthy. So yeah, but the defense, man, the same thing happened. Like the same thing happened, man. We could get pressure on Jordan Love, but we weren't getting sacks. We didn't get home. And again, when it comes to playing the Packers, you saw the effect that the Packers defensive line had on our offense in that first half. It got to us. It affected us. It affected how we move things on offense. Look, it's plain and simple. We said this for years. I've said this for years. This Bears defensive line has to improve. This defensive line currently constructed right now is not good enough. It's not getting any pressure. It's not blowing things up. And, when we need to get a stop and you need to get pressure, that's the case. Because it's absolutely embarrassing when you bring 7 guys on a blitz and not one of those guys can get home. That goes to show me that dudes are not getting off their blocks. It goes to show me you're just not outworking your opposition. Because I'm sorry, if you do a 7-man blitz, there's got to be some guy that's right up in the quarterback's face. That's unacceptable. The fact we cannot generate pressure whatsoever, it really goes to show you that the Bears need to heavily and massively invest in the trenches. And they made some moves, but it's not good enough. You're still getting no pressure. You're barely getting any sacks. Jordan Love had all time to throw. That's why he was dotting us up, completing these deep-ass passes for simple touchdowns, because guess what? There's no pressure in his face. There's no guys forcing him outside on the move and getting him down. So we not only need better interior help to blow things up interior, but we also need, again, another dangerous edge rusher. And when I'm talking about dangerous edge rusher, I'm talking about like game wrecker edge rusher. Somebody where you have to account for, and he have to be double teamed, and somebody's got to win their one-on-one battle. But that's plain and simple. I'm not seeing guys on the defensive line win their one-on-one battles. They're getting pressure, but they're not getting it home. But it's not good enough. In these situations, in these playoff games, when you gotta have it, I need a sack here, you can't do it, and it puts more earnest on your DBs to get stops. And honestly, I thought the defensive backfield, they didn't play a good game today. Jalen Johnson, I thought he got cooked today at one point. Jaquan Brisker, my fucking goodness. I'll talk about him in a second. But like in the game, the Packers are running like these simple plays, man. Just some of these simple plays. And it's like, dog, you defensive backs, you need to please help out your front seven. Let your front seven do your job, do your responsibilities. Like for there's many times the Packers did a stupid play action pass, and you clearly can tell, oh, the leaking tight end is wide open, and of course Jordan Love throws him because he's wide open. And I'm like, dude, stop focusing on the run, focus in on your assignments. Like let your front seven, who's been okay with stopping the run, do that. And I thought they were okay with stopping the run. But here were the 3 critical moments of the game, which all led to Packers scores, mind you. And it really took away from the fact that we could have pulled this game out. So, step number 1, it was the touchdown before halftime, right? To make it 14-3. Because at that point in the game, it was 7-3, and we got a field goal. We need a stop before, before the Packers go into halftime. You cannot give them any momentum, right? One, it starts off poorly because Cairo Santos, he can't kick the ball any deep. He couldn't kick it past the 40-yard line, which elected in the penalty, which put the Packers in good field goal position. And then next thing you know, a few plays later, Jordan Love completes a bomb down in the middle to number 16 on the Packers. And for whatever reason, I don't know what the hell Jaquan Brisker was doing. And Jaquan Brisker was absolutely terrible this game, dude. Look, man, Jaquan Brisker needs to go. He needs to go. Honestly, I'd rather have Jonathan Owens out there. I don't know why we don't give Jonathan Owens a chance to see what he can do. Jaquan Brisker is just a terrible. He's been bad. He has been bad. The injury bug has hurt him, and then on top of it, he just has not played good. He played really good his rookie season, and then since then, man, he he is not it. And I hate it because Jaquan always talks all this shit, and then guess what? When it's a moment for him to make a play, he doesn't make the play. He was getting cooked. Yes, Musgrave dropped a pass, right? But guess who was on him? Jaquan Brisker. He got picked apart. That touchdown, that can't happen. I don't know why Jaquan Brisker, who's on man coverage right there, he was backing up, and then the moment number 16 breaks his play face and runs a simple like deep post route, Jaquan Brisker is catching like damn near 10 yards away from him and lets him go. Now he almost rebounds and recovers, but he just sticks his hand out like this instead of just diving for it. If Jaquan Brisker had dove for that pass, he may have broke that up and maybe intercepts that pass. We did get one interception off of Jordan Love today, but we didn't turn that into a touchdown. And that didn't help because, when we got the interception, Caleb Williams threw a ball to Colson Loveland, but then he ended up dropping it. And that blew up the entire drive. And then Colson Loveland the next drive had a false start, and that blew the entire offensive drive up. We only have one turnover in Jordan Love. And we even each other out in the turnover battle. We definitely did need maybe another turnover. And when you look at what Jaquan Brisker did, I don't know why he didn't sell out for that. But most importantly, the fact that you're letting a guy across your face, and then you're a man. This is man coverage, man defense. I don't know why Jaquan Brisker just kept backpedaling. I played DB in high school and 1 year in college. If a dude crosses your face, you got to get on that. Like, he was too lackadaisical, and then you only to stick out one hand. Man, dive out and sell out for that to break it up. Because if you maybe dive out for that, maybe the pass gets batted down. Maybe it hits you in the chest and not right there. Jaquan Brisker got to go, man. I think he's going to be one of those players the Bears don't bring back, and they look to find a safety. You repay Kevin Byard, and then you go back, you go find, and maybe for all shits and giggle, you just re-sign C.J. Gardner-Johnson, you put him back there. Because I think that should be what the plan should be. You re-sign Byard, you re-sign C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and you let Brisker walk, and you put C.J. Gardner-Johnson as a safety, because that's his better position instead of slot corner, even though he's played it, right? Because he's a better safety than he is slot corner, right? So that's what I would have done. I would do that. But Jaquan Brisker has been underwhelming, man. And he needs to really get off the team. And I just hate it because he does all this talking, all this showboating, all these celebrations and shit like that, whether it's like the thing. But dude, you're not good, bro. Stop talking. Because I look at you and I'm always turning around and I'm seeing you're the one main reason that certain coverage bust happens and you're a guy that gets hooked. Jaquan Brisker, I don't think he's going to get a second contract extension unless he gets like a vet minimum contract. I would just let him walk because he has shown he is not that good for you. And you found a gem in CJ Gardner-Johnson. Now, CJ Gardner-Johnson did get an interception, but he also let up a touchdown. Now, I morally blame this on Dennis Allen, and he did this twice. I don't know why Dennis Allen decided to go an all-out blitz. And that's what he did on this next touchdown to Christian Watson, who, look, man, the dude always fucking kills us he kills us every fucking game. And that's what happened, too. Same thing happened. He killed us. We went all-out blitz, and Jordan Love threw it to Christian Watson for a touchdown. Like, it's an all-out blitz, man. And I don't know why Dennis Allen calls an all-out blitz. And when you do that, you expect your defense to get home. They didn't get home. You rush 7 again. And all Christian Watson does is run a simple slant route. That's bad on Senior Gardner-Johnson because you're not supposed to lose inside leverage. Because as a corner, because I played the position, when you're going man defense, you never want the receiver to beat you inside if he's running a slant. You want to make sure you're there to make the play. And C.J. Gardner-Johnson wasn't there to make the play. Christian Watson catches it, walk-in touchdown. That's because guess what? You bring a 7-man blitz. And I don't know why, this was the game where Dennis Allen needed to sit back in the zone and you make Jordan Love beat you in the zone defense and you occasionally blitz him here and there, right? He's not no rookie quarterback where you can sit back. Like next week against Shador, because he holds the ball on long, that's the type of game where you can blitz him like crazy and maybe send a 7 yard and be like, all right, let's prove this guy can beat us, right? But you look at the game, you can't do that against an experienced quarterback in Jordan Love because he'll pick you apart like that. Because the Packers will have man beaters. Because on that play, he basically gave a signal to Watson, and Watson gave a signal to the receiver, hey man, we're doing the man beater concept. And a slant is a man beater. Plain and simple. Unless you're pressed up on him. And that was another mistake there. And then I would think the third mistake of the game, which was the most crucial one because it led to the Packers getting 28 points on that touchdown, was the 3rd-and-1 stop. Packers do a simple pitch. Montez Sweat, Jalen Johnson, I think DeMarco Jackson. They were all there. They were all there. You had 4 guys right there in the backfield to make a tackle for a loss. Because if you make that tackle, the Packers kick the field goal to go up 3 to make it 24-21. And with the way your offense was moving, you have confidence that your offense could go down the field, score a touchdown, and win you this game. And this is where the game was lost. You had 4 guys in the backfield on Josh Jacobs. And yes, he is a tough guy to get down. But it's unacceptable for your cornerback who's getting paid a bunch of money, your defensive edge rush who's getting paid a boatload of money. Yes, a linebacker, backup linebacker, whatever. A linebacker right there. And a 4th guy was there too. I forgot who the 4th guy was. But it's unacceptable. You can't be there to make the tackle. And he made a simple cutback too. That's where you chop your feet and you stay and keep everything in front of you. And he breaks the tackle. Jalen Johnson, he didn't even attempt to make a tackle. Like, that can't happen. That can't happen. That was the play of the game right there for the Packers. If you could tell me on the Packers side of things where they won the game, that was that play right there. Because the Bears had them contained right there. Bears had the perfect play call. They were right there. And because you couldn't make a tackle, it leads to a touchdown instead of a field goal. And that's where the Bears lost the game right there. Unacceptable on the defense. If you can't make a simple run stop on a 3rd-and-1, when the play is there to be made, players are there, and you can't do your job and make a simple tackle, you deserve to lose the game. And that's why the defense, in my honest opinion, I felt like they let them down because I told my dad this. I'm like, look, man, the offense can continue to score all the time we had the chance to score in the second half. It's up to the defense getting these stops. When you add in that play, and then you add in the freaking all-out blitz for a slant, take those 2 touchdowns away. Even get 1. We go down the field and we win this game. Or if anything, we go to OT. But that's what happens. When you don't make the plays that are there to be made, it's going to cost you a game. When you're not getting enough pressure on an opposing quarterback and you're going to let him pick you apart, that's it. So, look, it's disappointing that the Packers beat us again. Yes, we should have had them. We should have beat them. But you got to look at some of the situations. If we had better defensive play calls there, some of the players stepped up and made the play on defense. Offense was completely better in the first half as opposed to the second half. Maybe we win the game. But the fact that we took these dudes to the limit, they needed an interception to win them the game. It only goes to show me we can beat these guys. At our worst, it shows us we can hang with these guys. We can beat them. And that's with no pass rush, and that's with one bad first half. So, they got the upper hand today. We still got another game in 2 weeks to play these dudes, but right now we can't worry about playing the Packers in 2 weeks. We got to go out there. We got to go beat Cleveland because, they're still a very solid team themselves, albeit the record doesn't show it, but they got a really dangerous pass rusher in Myles Garrett. And Shedeur Sanders has brought them some life. But, you can expose Shedeur Sanders by getting pressure on him and making him hold that ball on too long. So, Hopefully next week the Bears come out better prepared to play. They just got to offensively they got to put a complete game together. And Ben Johnson has to trust the play calling. And he's got to trust Caleb because I think in the first half he didn't trust his play calling. He didn't trust Caleb because in the second half it's like he took the gloves off or he took the handcuffs off and then he said, "Caleb, go do what you need to go do." And Caleb did what he did and he showed it. So for people on the national stage, they clearly saw like, no, this Bears offense is legit. Yeah, they can put a complete game together. They got a problem. And this game is just a picture and showing like, bro, when Caleb is consistent and he's in this zone, this locked in zone, watch out. But look, man, we'll handle the Packers when the time comes. But right now, we got to focus on Cleveland. We got to find a way to win. Still, at least hold on to a playoff wild card spot, and then hopefully the Broncos do us a favor next week and beat the Packers in Denver. And then again, that's the game you got to have. That's the game you got to win for the division right there. That will essentially be the division right there. So you got to hope the Lions continuously lose. You hope the Rams do you a favor next week, beat the Lions. You hope so then the Lions are not really much of a problem, right? And then plain and simple, you got to go out the next week. You got to hope Green Bay loses, and you got to go out and actually beat Green Bay in Chicago, and that might be for the division right there. Because plain and simple, that's what it may be. Because if they lose, and we win, guess what? We'll be tied again, and that's will be the division game right there that we can get. So, look, it sucks, but I can't be mad at the effort. That second half effort was great. Now we can do that for a complete game. That's a different story. But hey, look, any Packer fan that's watching this video, credit to you guys. You guys beat us again. Respect. Took us down to the wire to beat us, but look, we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. It'll probably be another exciting game because it'll be another primetime game, this time in Chicago. So, yeah, regardless, I'm a guy for guys. Catch you guys next video and catch you guys later. Peace.